Okay, reflection two. I will be going over the concepts of autonomy in Genesis. Now, throughout Genesis, we get, well, I should say, almost every single story within details the following. Uh, Humans act in their own way for their own autonomy, and God ends up striking them down and attempting to re-guide them to greener fields. To no avail, as it happens, multiple times over. But what I think it's ultimately trying to get at is showing the true nature within human desires and what ultimately we want and what we need to get corrected on. Now, do I think autonomy is a bad thing? No, no, I honestly don't. I would even say that Adam and Eve were not really all that in the wrong for eating the forbidden fruit. Because, well, yes, it is true that they were given hard lives, and everyone past that, they were able to be a little more conscious about themselves and be less ignorant in the world they were living in. Let me give an example, a little bit of a real world example, right? I have friends whose parents are religious leaders, right? So basically, as the stereotype goes, the idea that, there's the Catholic priest and the daughter is like skimping around and, not very Christian like per se. It's the same thing, just in the wrong context. Most of my friends whose parents are religious leaders, I got a couple of them. They are not very religious. They're not very religious, right? Which may seem odd to some, just like in the original story of the creation of the world. It seems like they have it all. They have the answers to all their questions, but they seek their autonomy, just like the original story. They seek their autonomy, and they break apart. And yes, while it is true they did not come to the conclusion of Christianity, I would bet that they know more, have a better understanding of Christianity than most Christians do, who might follow it blindly, try and go into it and do not have the right commitments, things of this nature, So, we can look at this as a bad thing, the concept of autonomy, but really, it's ultimately part of human nature, and it's not something that is easily corrected because it's part of us. And only through we get later into Jesus, I believe he has a pretty good understanding of this, but he just tries to guide our autonomy rather than where God is, laying it down. He washes all the fucking people away, resets the world, doesn't work. Through Jesus, we learn a better way to go about autonomy, but I guess that's a different story altogether. So that's my take on it. So, yeah.